Jury number 4, Mrs. Garrideb. What now? I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Oh, grief, counsel, what on earth are you doing? It's the weapon that was lodged in the victim's back, man. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garrideb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe that! The book was found in the victim's grasp! Are you saying that it flew out the window and across the street to lay neatly in her hand? Even my mistress hasn't got an aim like that. Yes, I admit, there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why. We must not allow this trial to end, not right now. Oh my! Ah! Mrs. Garrideb, your answer, please! Have you seen this knife before or not? God. My lord? I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all. Oh, not guilty. Thank you, madame. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end right now with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman! I have to agree. Not that I think the granny didn't mind. Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. All together now, ladies and gents. Boom. So Joan and juror number 6 aren't changing their answer yet. Dun 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 dun. We did it! Oh, congratulations, Miss Naruhodo. So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of jurors' leanings have changed. Two jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided, and this trial will continue. Now then, Lord Van Zykes, how does the prosecution wish to proceed? Oh, you're about to chuck it. This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Look, like a corded wine, the first few sips are bitter enough. But what follows is so repugnant, it's good for nothing, save the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zykes, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond. But let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourself better with the relative positions of these places being discussed. What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time? Oh my god, you know what? I'm actually just remembering something. Like, it just pops into my head. They're claiming that it happened on the, from where we're looking right now, it happened on the right side of the road. But I'm pretty sure Rolly and Patricia moved it to the right side of the road. It happened on the left side, I'm pretty sure. I'm having vague recollections of the body actually being on the left side. It ought to be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garrideb household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Garrideb's house to the scene is some, 15 yards. Can we get that in feet? 15. Let's see. Fuck, I don't know. I'm really bad at yards. You know what? 15 yards. I know it's also a part of the same thing, but I'm really bad at using it, so someone help me. 45 feet. That's pretty big. It's pretty. I know yards are part of the same system as feet, but if I don't know. Let me see. 15 feet. That's about 14 meters. I don't know. Nice try. Oh, Suzuto. You're speaking meters like a fucking weeb, like dog. That's not how we spell meters. No, I'm joking. Probably have the friggin' British spell it. 14 meters. Oh, that's a little farther than I imagined. You're about to get destroyed, Van Zykes. And as you ladies and the gentlemen of the jury rightfully noted, having portentous significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book, wantonly hurled by the lady of the house, traveled some 15 yards. Land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's finger and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? And did the jackknife follow a nearly identical trajectory to plunge in the middle of the victim's back? Fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Bam! Even the pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. Ow! Nothing I can say to that. The prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice. Miss Suzuto. Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he? Maybe let's pick our battles here. My lord, might I be allowed to speak? As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead. Prosecution may consider the idea a fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. Oh, he's about to get racist? To that end... Come on, you got this! Juror number 4, Miss Joan Garadeb, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination. Saints alive! A cross-examination of a juror? Oh, I just noticed they're going to each other. Oh my god! Patricia and Rolly beat literally the cutest couple to ever exist. Order, order, order! This is thoroughly irregular. Unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection!
Oh, he bad. Mid. And unnecessary. Lord Van Zykes. There's already witnesses to the stand whose testimony the defense must further examine. If my learned friends farcical? Yes, sir. My learned friend's farcical theory has any truth in it. And both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the skies before this couple's eyes. Oh, it was foggy. And we must assume they must be able to testify accordingly. What say you, witnesses? Yes, sir. Constable Rolly B. reporting for duty, sir. Well... Good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing off until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir. Oh, they're so heroic, these London bobbies. Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more. Oh, Rolly, my hero, you make me swoon. Very well, I hereby reject the defense request. Oh. And order the witnesses in the stand to testify again. Dale forthwith between the court and any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir. Oh my god, is he gonna be here? Is he actually gonna be here? He's been schlumping for a long time. This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his word. You see, the window on the 4th floor of the Garrett's house are top-hinged casements. What? Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go and fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I didn't take my eyes off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on the front, sir. Oh, that's quite startling. Top hinged casement windows. I'm an American. Can I please get a model, a diagram? That detail was not in the police report, Constable. Oh yes, sorry about that. Ooh, I've been a little drowsy. Cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. No, sir. Sorry, but what exactly is a top-hinged casement window? And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such a trite remark, my learned friend. Of course. Sorry. I found it, Miss Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett Ebb's room. Alright, I'll try. The window opened in place in order to allow air to circulate inside the room. That is this top-hinged casement window. It swings open along the upper edge, you see. I'm glad you rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. It prevents its opening? This is all new to me. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife were to have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below. Oh. You see the problem then? Good, your education in Windows is complete. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. Well... That is, unless the window pane had been shattered. Something we've discounted already. This cannot be! See that, Rolly? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony. Oh yes, my darling, I saw it. I saw how he crumpled before me. Oh, Rolly, you're so strong. How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet. However, my argument's already been destroyed. Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your cross-examination. Someone kill me, my lord. Oh good, another desperate situation. Cross-examination. Constable Beats report. Constable Beats report. This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mr. Garrett. I believe me as a London Bobby. It's good for my word. Shut your mouth. Hold it. How can you say that for certain? Very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it and a reminder to all of us policemen of our sworn duty. He showed us that before, didn't he? Did he? Can't say I remember. patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. That's what all this job's all about. Why can't you only stand here today just besides my long-suffering wife and tell you Bobby's good for his words? I'm rubbing my tired eyes immediately. Sir? Oh, Rolly, you're so manly. Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Jesus Christ. No, none of that is what I meant. No. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with the Gyarados? Ah, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir. Yes, well, could you answer the question? What a waste of time, then. Absolutely, sir. I'll answer to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why the Gyarados domestic dispute can't be related to this case. Before I get into that, sir, just one more thing. Yes? It's very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the Great Britain's Institute of Scotland Yard. I hope you'll take back some tales of us Londoners bodies and how we uphold our guiding principles. I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I literally just arrived here. But to the end, sir, I'll be happy to lend you my warrant card for your proposal. But I must warn you, my dogs are barking. You won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears. Thank you, I'll try. Small folding wallet that identifies London bobbies and contains the rules of conduct to which they must adhere. I would have died. This case has gone on far too long. Yeah, well. Policeman must try to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. My dogs are still going. Policing. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of beat of which they are discovered. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Interesting. Hold it! Hold it, buddy. Which means they don't open fully. Is that correct? Yes, sir. They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see, so they're restricted to how much they open. And therefore, anything thrown out the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the streets directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Here is the location where objects would have fallen. Oh yes, direct opposite the scene of crime, on the other side of the wide road. Would it have been so hard for someone to mention this top-hinged casement before? Well, I have another question for you, Constable. What would that be, sir? How did you even know? Why would they have any idea what sort of windows the Gyarados house is furnished with? Well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday. Well, hold it, ma'am. Excuse me. You have something to add, Mrs. Beat? Oh god, don't tell me I just wasted my time. No, please, God. Please, God, no. I'm sorry. You see, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that? I was just remembering, that's all. You really were so lucky. Lucky? What do you mean? Of course I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. Oh. We're just so lucky it didn't happen to our Rolly's beat. It was so close. Oh, you see. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh yes, that's Street Briar Road. That's the boundary between Rolly's Beat and the next one.
Isn't that right, my love?
Oh, he's slumping. Constable Beat.
Huh? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of the Garadub's household yesterday. I was on my beat, you see, so...
That really was cutting it close then.
Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Garadub's household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well? The side was Garadub's house? Yeah, yes ma'am. That pavement on the other side of the road is part of my beat.
I see. I was unaware of that.
Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our winning anniversary.
Oh, you snakes. You did move the body.
But that's the life of a Bobby, after all.
Extraordinary people are Bobbies, tirelessly working on the benefit of all Londoners.
Do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all his hard work.
You snake!
You... Don't you think so, my darling? That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it.
I think perhaps we should make sure we have the information officially on record.
Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately.
Which that's the side Constable Beat's beat. Border which runs down the road of Briar Road.
And now it's my turn, I think. To be a snake and say that I hadn't moved the body, but I had.
Oh! But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and was dark.
Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star.
Sorry?
Excuse me, the star that will guide us to the eternal happiness.
Can it guide you to the answer to the question?
The flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us. Oh, it lit up like a shooting star. And if I had seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Of Rolly being an inspector, I would say, 3 times at least. Of course, what with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars.
Short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife flew across the sky before you?
Yes, sir, that's correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London streets is starless, sir.
Apparently seems like they're telling the truth.
That's when we saw the poor woman fall to the ground and ran straight over to help her.
It was seen to go fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was changed.
You said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that right? That's right, yes. If I had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course. Don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know every location of every police box on every beat.
How's the average citizen supposed to know then?
But Rolly told me the way, only I sort of got a little lost on the way.
Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. The terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me.
Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly.
These people... Oh, please. These people, I love them. I love their design. But jeez, bro, we already know. We know, right? We know that they changed the thing. We know that they moved the body. Like, we got that so far, right? Like, we're all in the same thing.
So I suppose I was gone for about 15.
Oh my god.
But like I said, my rollie was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed. I was off my beat at the time, of course, but a terrible Bobby is never really off duty, sir. A true Bobby is never really...
Terrible Bobby probably also plays.
Never really off duty, sir. I didn't do my optimal crime for one moment.
Nothing to report.
That's correct, sir. I had my eyes open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I could swear on my yard's honor, sir.
Really? That seems a little strange.
Beg your pardon, sir? Strange, sir? Seems altogether regular to me.
Burnt copy of the Lion's Pride was originally in the Garrideb's household. Question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed some light on seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time?
Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happened to be burned as well?
Even if it were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in his hand? You can see from the photographic print she had a bag over her shoulder.
Well, sir, the book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene.
Is that true, though? Is that so? Yeah, I still agree and believe in this malarkey. It's not about the statement. It's not sitting right with me. There's two mysteries of how the knife ended up in her back and that her book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them.
Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Lawyer, sir?
Sure, bucko. Yeah, of course. What is it?
You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell.
What? I really wasn't. I mean, what's she doing?